All right, so we can go ahead and get started now. My name is Alex Edelson. I am a senior product marketing manager here at Quorum. I lead a lot of the go-to-market efforts in terms of getting all of our new products and features out to you all, to the market. And I was the one that led our Quorum Copilot launches, the first one in January of 2024, and then this one. And I'm going to pass it over to Michelle to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. Michelle Splitstone Lalogia. I know it's a terribly long name. I am a Quorum account executive. I have been with the organization for about a year now, and I've had a ton of conversations with colleagues in your spaces regarding Copilot and how we can support your work. So really excited to share that with you today. Back to you, Alex.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, so we have an awesome agenda today. There's three big things that we're hoping to do. So first, we want to give you an overview of Quorum, shed some light on how we're thinking about AI and this AI innovation wave that we are in, as well as its impact on the public affairs market. Secondly, we want to introduce you to Copilot 2.0 AI, which is our most advanced AI-powered assistant designed specifically to help public affairs professionals like you work smarter, act faster, and drive a greater impact. And then finally, last but not least, I will pass it over to Michelle, who's going to do a live demo of the tool, exploring more in-depth use cases you can use to supercharge your policy analysis and help enhance your stakeholder engagement. A few housekeeping items before this session is being recorded. We will distribute the recording after the event. If you have any questions, please don't be shy. You can throw those questions in the Q&A tab that you all see there on the right. We will have some time at the end for questions. And I do ask, when we get to the demo portion of the webinar, please click on that rectangle at the bottom right of your screen to expand to full screen. We really want you to be able to see the full functionality in action and how Michelle is interacting with both Quorum and Copilot within Quorum. Okay, so let's get started. So first, we'll take a step back before we meet Copilot. So who is Quorum and how does AI kind of fit into our software? So Quorum is the leading public affairs software that helps organizations increase their policy wins, understand their policy landscape, and build a unified data-driven strategy. Our platform is trusted by Fortune 500 companies, trade associations, nonprofits, and advocacy groups to help navigate the complex world of policy. And for years, we've been revolutionizing public affairs, and now we're at this forefront of another transformation, which is AI in public affairs. So Copilot is available in our legislative tracking products at the federal and state level, Quorum Federal, which helps you build stronger relationships and find new champions on Capitol Hill. And then, of course, Quorum State, which helps you to engage with officials, track state bills and regs, and report on all of your team efforts across all 50 states and U.S. territories. So let's talk a little bit about the philosophy and how we have been building AI into Quorum. So we wanted technology to be as good as it possibly could be at the things that technology is good at. And we wanted our users, people, to be as good as possible at the things that our users are good at. And those two things are not the same. So when we set out to build these tools, we didn't think there was an AI system that was going to be able to, replicate the ability of you all to engage with your strategic stakeholders, create complex positioning, or build different strategies. But AI can assist in the tasks that are necessary to get there. So technology is good at doing things really fast, consistently, and at scale. And we are good at many more things than technology could ever be good at. So we developed these AI tools to best empower our users to boost productivity and focus on the work that matters. And that's why Copilot 2.0 isn't just a tool that spits out, organizes data. It really is your AI-powered assistant that helps you streamline and automate the really tough tasks. So we want to give our users these AI-powered tools to empower you to get whatever number of outcomes you want, without external interference. These are tools that fit directly into your workflow and act as your assistant in getting everything you need done. So it's no question we are in an AI innovation wave right now, not just within public affairs, within every industry. And in the 90s, we had the internet, then came web applications and mobile capabilities, Uber, Airbnb, transforming how we use technology day to day. But now, Quorum is focused on how AI will transform how we work, similar to how these other waves have. And we are really focused on being the leader and one step ahead of the AI innovation in the public affairs market. This started with our release of Copilot 1.0 in about February of 2024. And now, we believe that our enhanced Copilot 2.0 is going to help to transform a lot of your day-to-day, give you time back to do more of the important things. With that said, Molly, we're going to share the video to give you all a little bit of an idea of exactly how powerful this tool is.
In the quickly changing world of policy and governance, keeping pace means staying ahead of endless updates and critical decisions. But now there's a better way. Quorum Copilot 2.0, powered by our exclusive, patented AI technology, designed to slice through complexity and supercharge your policy strategy. Analyze and compare complex legislation instantly. Experience unprecedented depth in real-time policy tracking that only Quorum can provide. Stay ahead of emerging narratives as Copilot 2.0 scans Quorum's databases of X posts, Facebook posts, floor statements, and more to provide an instant analysis of political discourse. Our patented AI helps you capture every policy shift and key statement as they happen, ensuring you're always informed. Jumpstart your policy communications with AI-powered content creation, from manual tasks like staffer follow-up or more in-depth jobs like grassroots updates and policy summaries. Copilot empowers you to instantly create more engaging, personalized outreach. Ask conversationally, act strategically. Copilot's conversational AI search delivers the information you need within seconds, simplifying complex queries with ease and precision. Reclaim valuable time for what matters most while equipping your team to stay ahead, shape the dialogue, and drive meaningful impact. Elevate your legislative strategy and secure a competitive advantage. See what's possible with Quorum Copilot 2.0 and drive more policy wins.
Awesome. We'll get back into the presentation here. I hope you all enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making that with our team. So as y'all can see with 2.0, we've built an AI tool that's designed specifically for our public affairs industry. Unlike generic AI tools, Copilot is powered by Quorum's comprehensive legislative and stakeholder data, meaning that you're going to get way more reliable, relevant, and actionable insights that are super, super tailored to your work. And it's no surprise right now that public affairs professionals are facing very tight budgets, lean teams, and an overwhelming amount of information. But at the same time, y'all's critical tasks like policy analysis, stakeholder engagement, data management, they require a ton of speed and precision. So 2.0 helps to eliminate bottlenecks by really automating those complex workflows that y'all have and increasing efficiency. So helping to shrink the gap between your capacity and your ambitions. And in less marketing speak, Copilot helps you do more with less, right? Eliminating those time-consuming tasks so you can focus on what matters, which is those policy wins, your strategy, and your impact. With all that said, I am going to pass it over to Michelle, and she is going to give you a peek into what all this looks like within Quorum.
Thank you so much for teeing that up so well, Alex. And hello, everyone, again. I am really excited to show Copilot 2.0 in action. So just want to give you a little bit of a roadmap of what we'll be looking at today. So first, we're going to take a look at surfacing legislation and related conversation. So we're going to show you how Copilot can instantly uncover this information, saving your team a tremendous amount of time. We're going to take a look at how we can leverage Copilot to rapidly analyze legislation. We're going to use it to find champions that may be supporters of our cause. We're going to use it to generate content to reach out to officials with to encourage their support. And then finally, we'll use Copilot as a sounding board to determine strategy and other key talking points that'll help us get our message along. So with that said, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen here and give you a view of what this looks like in action. All right, everyone. So for anybody who is not familiar with the Quorum platform, you're taking a look at what it is like to be inside of Quorum in the driver's seat. Just real quick, want to orient you here. You'll see one of the things that really sets Quorum apart is all of our data lives together inside of one ecosystem. So everything that most public affairs teams need is going to be found right here. And then over here is going to be Copilot 2.0. So without leaving Quorum, you have everything you need to supercharge your public affairs work. So in my first example here, I want to show you how we would leverage Copilot 2.0 to find information about fast-moving documentation. One of the things that I hear often speaking to your colleagues is that executive orders have been very rapid fire and difficult to keep up with. So in this example, we have a search where we have uncovered the most recent executive orders that have been issued. We also have a link here to take a look at the search for these executive orders as well. For many teams, what this would normally be is an extensive Google search. It would be manually adjusting filters in their existing public affairs software. But as you can see, it's all here at your fingertips at a moment's notice. We also commonly hear from your colleagues that they need a system to help them identify upcoming hearings and meetings so they can stay on top of these. So in another example here, we've asked Copilot 2.0, what committee hearings are happening today? We have our list here, so we're informed and we're ready to get going. So that's how we can easily surface those conversations and stay ahead of meetings. And the next area that a lot of teams are leveraging Copilot 2.0 for is to take a look at officials, understand their conversations, the dialogues they're having, and bills that they are supporting. So again, to orient you here, we are inside of an official's profile. This is going to be for Senator Cantwell. So we have a couple, really super easy tagging tools here so you can identify and keep track of who your supporters or detractors might be, as well as that collaborative experience of being able to communicate with your team. So when we are an official's profile and we are trying to understand the broader intentions behind their actions, we can go ahead and leverage Copilot here to do that research for us. So in this example, I'm going to ask the system what this official has said about tariffs. Now, Copilot is going to scrape the Quorum system for conversation in the social media world, press releases, official documents, and more. So we can see quite a few talking points here. Looks like some social media, looks like floor speeches, and more. Again, a situation where this might take your team a tremendous amount of time to do this research on your own. It's been done near instantly inside of the Copilot system for you. And then another area where we heavily see this leveraged is identifying what legislation has been sponsored or co-sponsored. So in this example, we'll ask the system, what bills has Senator Cantwell co-sponsored in the current 119th Congress? So as we can see, again, in a moment, we have a list here of all the bills that she has co-sponsored. And then as we saw earlier, we can go ahead and go into the search. We can see these bills. And if it is a priority area for our team, we can also go in here and quickly enable alerts so we stay in the know. Third, I think another area that I hear from many of your colleagues is how they are using Copilot to effortlessly communicate out to staffers and officials directly. So what you are looking at here is the backside of the Quorum system inside of our Outbox tool. This allows you to send communications out to officials and staffers, advocates and contacts, and more within the system itself. It generates that institutional knowledge where you're recording these interactions so your team is in the know of what the conversations have been so far. So in this example, let's say I want to reach out to Senator Murphy's legislative director and hopes that we can encourage Senator Murphy to vote in alignment with some of Senator Cantwell's sponsored bills or co-sponsored bills. So we'll give this information into Copilot here, which is going to scrape our staffers and officials data set here to find this information. So quickly, I can see that the legislative director is going to be Elizabeth Lizzie Letter. I can take her name, enter it over here, and I now have this email loaded and ready to go. Last thing we need to do is we need to draft a message that is compelling enough to get us that entryway to Senator Murray. So as you can see, in a moment, we have a custom email drafted to this legislative director, a couple areas to just fill in here in the placeholders, and you're ready to send this off. I think an important call out here as well is we've done this in a matter of just a few prompts, but the system is bi-directional. So it's giving you information, you can tailor it further, you can add talking points here and say, I'd like to focus in more on this, or please highlight this. It's just generating that content very quickly so you and your team are able to initiate these conversations with ease. And the last area that we're seeing this heavily leveraged with your colleagues is going to be the bill analysis itself. And forgive me, we're going to go backwards here for a moment into our Sheets section of the Quorum platform. So for those of you who have not seen the Quorum platform before, Sheets are going to be like a Google sheet or an Excel spreadsheet, but on steroids. This spreadsheet is going to allow you to essentially set the parameters for what information you would like to have displayed, and then it's going to auto update. You can then take these sheets, you can share them externally, internally, embed them on websites and more, allowing you to communicate the work you're doing effectively. So in this sheet, we have some bills of importance that have been tagged, and we'll use HB 1384 here as an example. So as a public affairs team, we might want to better understand, what does this bill do? So we'll go ahead and prompt the system to do that deep dive for us here. Now, for context, this is an 11-page long bill. For many of us, this will require an extensive amount of reading, digesting, and trying to truly understand what the content of this bill represents. But in the matter of seconds it took me to explain that, we have a bill analysis here giving us some pretty solid insight into what exactly this legislation means for our work. Again, you can prompt the system to give you further information and really deep dive further to better understand this bill in whatever direction you'd like to go. Again, just wanted to call out as well this bill profile. We already have AI through Copilot embedded here. So we're taking a look at the AI summary. Similar to the officials profile earlier, we're able to tag stances, priorities, and call in team members. So, now that we've digested this bill, we might have a better understanding of what our stance might be, our priorities, and more. And finally, another area of benefit here is going to be actually analyzing what this bill does versus other legislation that we are watching. This first bill was about 11 pages long. The second bill could be much longer than that. So combined, we're able to do all of this analysis that would usually take teams a tremendous amount of time in a matter of seconds here. And here we have that bill comparison. So we can take a look and see, how does Hawaii bill represent or compare to the Kansas bill here? So we have an extensive breakdown. So again, we can really begin to understand not only that single state dimension to this, but the national conversation and legislation that's being introduced around these topics. I think the last area that really helps teams is we can now come in here and ask the system to generate us talking points to use with lawmakers on why they might support this legislation. So quickly, we're able to see it's promoting economic growth, enhancing government efficiency, supporting workforce development, and more. And then finally, armed with those talking points, we can now begin to understand what are the metrics or qualities that would flag to us a potential co-sponsor for this legislation. So we're able to come in here and ask the system to find us these co-sponsors, what these qualities might be. So we're able to quickly go out and advocate and try and get additional sponsorship on this bill. So again, these are the main areas that I'm having conversations with your colleagues about how they can leverage Copilot to support their work. There's a ton of different directions you can go in with this beyond what we saw today. But the key benefits here are going to be automating research. We're reducing the amount of manual policy tracking. We're enhancing that stakeholder engagement. So we're giving you that personalized outreach in a matter of seconds. And we're also speeding up that bill reviewal process. So your team is able to focus on much more pressing priorities rather than being nose deep in a Google search or congress.gov, et cetera. So, with that said, that is the bulk of what I wanted to show you today. Truly, we've expanded our capabilities in the second iteration from our first iteration and delivered a tool that is, far more than just analyzing legislation.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. Very in depth and really gives us an idea there about how we are at the forefront here of helping our folks to be able to supercharge everything that they're doing day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with that said, just want to jump into a couple frequently asked questions here. So one of the topics that I get often is, why would I use Copilot versus other AI tools like ChatGPT? The first thing is, when you're using generic large language models out there like ChatGPT or Perplexity, these are models that are pulling in so much information from so many different sources. It's not truly trained to be that public affairs assistant that you all need. With Copilot, we have trained it on over 300,000 bills. We have loaded it with 250,000 officials and staffers to give you a data set that is meaningful to your public affairs work. And finally, it's seamlessly integrated into the Quorum platform. It's, no longer are you having to copy and paste information, export PDFs, upload that into a secondary system. It's all right here at your fingertips. And then finally, a big one is, how does Quorum protect my data with AI? So, in a day and age where everybody is concerned about privacy and making sure their data is secure and limited to themselves, we can tell you that this data is never combined with any other client's information. It's also not used to train the model. So your information is safe, protected, and private within your Quorum instance. And so with that said, back over to you, Alex.
Awesome. Thank you. So what's next for Quorum Copilot? Our vision here is that Quorum Copilot will extend across all areas of the Quorum platform, allowing you all to enhance your legislative insights across not just state, not just federal, but local, international, into our other products, really helping to automate y'all's more complex government affairs workflows, allowing you to do more with less. And we are very excited to, be able to continue to advance on this, and please be on the lookout for our notifications when we do start to release new functionality for Copilot. All right, and I think now we are going to get into our Q&A section. I think we have some really good ones that have been thrown in the chat. We do ask if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat, and we will go ahead and start answering some of these. Okay, so we can answer this one first from Theda, if I'm saying that correctly. Is there a timeline for Copilot 2.0 being able to pull information on City Council? That is a great question. At this point, we do not have a timeline, but again, we are working towards the next iteration, which will be having Copilot work at our local and school board level as well. Okay, I can share this one here. Leah, any relation to Microsoft Office Copilot AI? No, there is no relation to Microsoft Office Copilot. This is our own Copilot that sits within Quorum and is not connected to Microsoft Copilot. Okay. Let's see here. Michelle, this might be a good one for you.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Ted. So Ted asks, would it be able to identify all Republican members who have voiced opposition to Medicaid cuts? So the system itself won't actually look at the conversation and assign a sentiment to it. Rather, it will flag all of the conversations that have been held by Republican members who have mentioned Medicaid. So yes, you'll be able to see those conversations and then determine from those, what the general sentiment has been around Medicaid cuts.
Okay. Let's see here. We have some other good ones. From Alyssa here. Are there any plans for retrieval augmented generation for AI bill search related to tracking boards? Michelle, do you have an answer for that one?
Yep. So the model is currently already retrieval augmented generation trained. And when you ask it for bills related to Medicaid, it expands to search to other key terms as well. So it's a very comprehensive search that's being conducted around those specific items. Within a tracking board, you can also enhance it or ask it to enhance key terms. So as you are setting up a tracking board, you're able to put in these terms and AI will actually tailor it to, again, pull that broader conversation around a topic.
Awesome. Okay, let's see here. We do have a question here from Christine. We often get an advanced look at legislation before it's introduced. Can we upload a document and ask Copilot to summarize the bill? Michelle?
At this time, we do not have a feature to externally upload it per se, but I believe you would be able to go in the prompt and use information from a bill and find like similar bills, and you can ask it for additional information using it in a prompt format. But again, I don't believe we currently have the capability to upload that external document and review it within the Copilot system. But for future context, it is something that we are looking into.
Thank you. And I just want to call out Ted. Thank you for giving us kudos on the tool. We are very happy to be able to share it with you all. And we are excited that it is helping you to do everything you need to do to achieve your goals here. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Yeah, so I think we will go ahead and wrap it up here right now. I just want to say, thank you so much for everyone joining. We will again be sending out our recording here with some other resources via email. And we really hope that you enjoyed and learned a lot about what we have to offer here for Copilot 2.0.